it was smaller than we expected. It sure wasn't as big as you promised. Honestly, we're not surprised.
White House staffers, the truth is I will infect you.
Watching the power grab and illegality going on in Washington, it's easy to feel helpless, like there's nothing you can do.
Donald, your campaign manager told you 1 million fans wanted to come to your first big rally. Turnout in Tulsa? A dud.
He didn't just snap, he detonated. The second that ad aired, Trump's fists hit the table. Aides flinched. Someone whispered, "Here we go again." And the walls of Mar-a-Lago bore witness to yet another volcanic meltdown. But this time, it wasn't CNN, it wasn't the DOJ, and it sure as hell wasn't Joe Biden. It was the Lincoln Project, and their latest parody ad didn't just poke the bear, they took a sledgehammer to his ego, lit it on fire, and broadcast the ashes. Straight into prime time. This wasn't satire, this was scorched earth. And Trump, he's fuming. Red-faced, white-knuckled, pacing the gold-plated halls like a man on the edge. Before we go any further, if you want more raw, no-holds-barred breakdowns like this, do us a favor.
Do you want to make any comment about this Lincoln Project ad? Yeah, no, I saw it.
Trump plan to kill him.
The end is coming. He thinks he's gone.
Hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep the truth flowing and the drama exposed. Now let's rewind for a second, because this wasn't just another political jab. This was a surgical strike on Trump's one true weakness, his image. The Lincoln Project, made up of ex-Republican strategists who know Trump's soft spots better than anyone, launched a masterclass in humiliation. The ad, drenched in mockery, painted Trump not as a strongman or political juggernaut, but as a washed-up punchline desperate to stay relevant. It aired on multiple networks, but more importantly, it exploded online. Within hours, it had millions of views, and the MAGA faithful were scrambling, not to defend him, but to explain what the hell just happened. In the ad, Trump is reimagined as a bloated has-been actor auditioning for the role of president in a low-budget soap opera. He forgets his lines. He fumbles through the Constitution like it's a fast food menu. The narrator, with mock seriousness, lists his greatest hits: insurrections, indictments, impeachments, while a laugh track roars in the background. The music?
I always say too much. Never mind the thousands of lies I have told to you.
No, get those lights off! Off!
It's the hardest job in the world.
Lucky I brought some notes.
A dramatic, over-the-top orchestral score that only heightens the absurdity. And yet, it's all real. Every clip, every quote, every gaffe pulled straight from the headlines. That's what makes it land like a gut punch. Because parody isn't parody when the truth is already this ridiculous, Trump reportedly was not amused. Sources inside his inner circle said the former president stormed into a private dining room and began shouting at the television, blaming traitors and deep state rats for letting it air. He accused the Lincoln Project of election interference and ranted about suing them again. "They should be in jail," he reportedly yelled. "This is treason." But what truly burned him wasn't just the mockery, it was the laughter. The kind of laughter he can't control. Because Trump, for all his tough guy bluster, has always been deathly allergic to ridicule.
You've probably heard this before, but it was smaller than we expected. It sure wasn't as big as you promised. Honestly, we're not surprised.
To inflation. Instead, he blew it. Trump's recession, inevitable. Trump's dumb tariffs, you pay.
He sees himself as a titan, a legend, an empire in one man. And when someone turns him into a cartoon, that illusion shatters. The mask slips. And this wasn't just a one-off attack. This was part of a long, calculated campaign by the Lincoln Project to chip away at Trump's public image. They know he thrives off power and dominance, so they flip the script. They turn him into a clown. They strip him of seriousness. They remind America that behind the bluster, there's a man addicted to validation. terrified of irrelevance. The ad ends with the words, "Donald Trump, America's most dangerous actor, now auditioning for a sequel no one wants." That line, it cuts deep, because it's not just mocking Trump, it's warning the country. This isn't entertainment. It's a rerun of chaos, and it's up to the audience to change the channel. But let's talk about why this matters. Why Trump's reaction isn't just about ego, but about fear. See, Trump's entire political playbook is built on control. Controlling the narrative, controlling his base, controlling the media cycles with outrageous tweets or rants. But parody, satire, that's a battlefield he can't win on. Because the more he reacts, the more ridiculous he looks. He can't sue a joke. He can't threaten a laugh. He can't bully his way out of a punchline.
They should call it the Losers Project.
Let's lay that into rapid response.
I do not have anger issues.
Who he is?
You would never abuse power as retribution against anybody. Except for day one.
America or Trump?
And so, when the Lincoln Project mocks him, not with anger, but with irony, it dismantles the strongman illusion. It shows America that the emperor isn't just naked. He's ridiculous. This is why Trump lashes out harder when mocked than when investigated. Remember the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner, when Obama lit him up in front of the world? That moment, by many accounts, was the spark that lit Trump's political fire. It wasn't policy. It wasn't patriotism. It was personal vengeance, a vendetta. And now, over a decade later, that same fire is raging again. Because the Lincoln Project has found the same nerve, and they're pressing on it hard. What makes this latest ad so devastating is that it doesn't come from the left. It's not Biden. It's not MSNBC. It's Republicans, former Republicans, his people, his party.
Weaver and Schmidt, all losers.
The Lincoln Project has raised $90 million.
We have the opportunity to help save the goddamn country.
Blight on America's presidential legacy. Yes, future generations will refer to you as that turd sandwich that accidentally won an election.
The ones who built the machine that brought him to power and are now trying to dismantle it piece by piece. That betrayal, it hits different. Trump's loyalty is transactional, but his paranoia, that runs deep. Every defection, every mocking voice, every conservative who dares laugh at him, it tightens the screws in his head. And right now, that pressure cooker is ready to blow. What's even more chilling is how Trump's meltdown isn't just a tantrum. It's a signal, a warning to his followers. If they can humiliate me, he's essentially saying, they can come for you next. And that fear is what binds his base. Not policy, not economics, fear. Of change, of irrelevance, of losing some imagined greatness. So when the Lincoln Project rips the mask off and shows Trump as a flailing has-been, it doesn't just threaten his image. It threatens the mythology his supporters worship. It breaks the spell.
White House staffers, the truth is I will infect you. Don't cry for me, Secret Service, though COVID might just well kill you.
And yet the parody ad doesn't just mock, it informs. It reminds us in the most unforgettable way of what a second Trump term would actually look like. Not strength, not leadership, but chaos, confusion, a blooper reel, masquerading as government. And if that sounds dramatic, it's because it is. We've lived through one season of The Trump Show. We saw the insurrections. We saw the indictments. We saw the country buckle under a man who treated democracy like a reality show cliffhanger. So when this ad aired, it wasn't just funny. It was a red flag, because Trump's fuming rage is more than emotion. It's fuel. Every insult adds to the fire. Every joke is a slight he must avenge. And that vengeance, it's not rhetorical, it's political. It manifests in real policies, real people, real pain. So while we laugh at the parody, we must also understand the stakes. The Lincoln Project knows this. That's why their satire carries an edge sharper than comedy. It's a call to action, a warning dressed in wit, a last laugh before the curtain rises again. And that brings us to now. As Trump rages, as his team spirals into damage control, the rest of us are left with a question. What do we do with this moment? Do we scroll past it? Do we laugh and move on? Or do we remember what happens when we underestimate a clown with power? Because history doesn't always repeat, but it sure as hell rhymes. And if we're not careful, the next act of this show might not be a parody. It might be the finale. If you've made it this far, and this breakdown hits the nerve it was meant to, subscribe. It's how we stay loud, how we stay honest, and how we keep cutting through the noise. Because in the end, Trump's greatest enemy was never Joe Biden. It wasn't Mueller or Garland or even the media. It was the truth, served cold, wrapped in satire, delivered by those who know him best. And now, that truth is out there, echoing across screens and sound bites, leaving him exposed, enraged, and spinning. The Lincoln Project didn't just hit a nerve, they hit a bullseye. And Trump, he's out of comebacks, out of laughs, out of control. The only question that remains is, what do you think will happen next? Let us know in the comments.